When Black Roses Bloom was released in 1995, it's for levels 4 to 6. Written by Lisa Smedden with interior art by Mark Nelson and a cover by Scott Burdick. The adventure is 63 pages and comes with a full-size poster map. It is set in the core domain of Sithicus, which is taken from the Dragonlance campaign setting. When the Ravenloft campaign setting was released in 1990, it had two big names. One was Strahd von Zarovich, and the other was Lord Soth. When the creators of the Dragonlance setting left the company, TSR had free reign to do what they wanted to the Dragonlance setting, and they did change a lot of things, and not for the better. One of them, though, was moving Lord Soth to Ravenloft, which was controversial at the time, and many Dragonlance fans were upset, but us Ravenloft fans were pretty happy about it. Lord Soth is a Death Knight who has lived for hundreds of years. Lord Soth was once a prominent knight in an order of knights. One day he rescued some elf maidens who were captured by orcs. Lord Soth fell in love with one of the elf maidens. However, Soth was married. After Soth's wife met an unfortunate accident, Lord Soth and the elf maiden were married at his castle. Now, the Order of Knights did not see too kindly to his adultery and possible murder of his wife, so they besieged his castle to bring him to trial. But Soth had men loyal to him, so a long standoff ensued. During the standoff, Soth became abusive and was a shell of the man he once was. When the elf maiden gave birth to their child, he seemed to get a little bit better. But, however, feelings of jealousy plagued Soth, and he began to feel like his wife had cheated on him, and that the child was not even his. During a fit of rage, the god Paladon gave Soth a vision of the end of the world and tasked him with stopping it. Soth, seeking redemption, left his castle to stop it, but on the way there his feelings of jealousy flared up again, so he went back to his castle, and while he was beating his wife, the cataclysm struck, and Soth would not save his wife or child. So as they burned in flames, his wife cursed him, and he became a Death Knight. For hundreds of years, Lord Soth moped in his castle, haunted by banshees singing songs of his failures to him, while the world continued to crumble around him. Hundreds of years later, during the War of the Lance, when dragons returned to Krynn, Lord Soth allied himself with the dragon High Lord Katara. Soth began to have feelings for her, and wanted her soul. When she died, he sent his ghostly sin shell to the abyss to get her soul, but the ghost betrayed him, and when Soth began to take his rage out on his sin shell, the mist of Ravenloft grabbed Soth and drew him into Ravenloft. Lord Soth's entry into Ravenloft was detailed in the Ravenloft novel Knight of the Black Rose. Soth wanted out of Ravenloft and ended up coming into conflict with Strahd and met allies with the werebadger Azrael, who would become his new sin shell. Eventually, Soth would wander into the mist and be granted the domain of Sithicus. Soth cares nothing about ruling a domain. He seeks the soul of Katara and a way back to Krynn. Sithicus is populated by elves, but the elves here are not like the elves of his world. They are a pale imitation of them. Just like his castle here is a pale imitation of his castle back home, and the banshees that sing to him every night and taunt him are imitations of the ones on Krynn. There are also vampire Kinder that populate the domain, but they too are a mockery of the Kinder on Krynn. When the players enter Sithicus, they slowly figure out that the elves are losing their memory and the land itself is falling apart. After a few encounters in the domain, the heroes are led to Soth's castle. Soth had 6 memory mirrors made by a wandering mage. The mirrors allow Soth's mind to enter the mirrors, and he can live out his fantasies in them while his physical body stays behind. Since a Dark Lord is so connected to his domain, and Soth has been connected to the mirrors for so long, this has had a devastating effect on the domain. The heroes must enter all 6 of the mirrors and face Soth in moments from his past. Once all 6 mirrors have been beaten and Soth has returned to his body, the heroes will tell Soth of the effect it has had on the domain. There the adventure will continue to Kinderland, home of the evil Kinder, and the heroes will have a final encounter with Lord Soth. Here are my only negatives of the module. First is the fan service. This module includes a lot of characters from the novel Knight of the Black Rose and from the Dragonlance novels. Now, while I find it great and enjoy the continuity very much, I also enjoy this module much more because of it. Had I no knowledge of any of the previous history, I would not enjoy this adventure as much. Second is the ending. The ending is a must find the portal out of Ravenloft gimmick again, and the portal turns out to be Lord Soth himself. During the end fight, the heroes must literally leap at Lord Soth to enter the portal, which is in itself ludicrous. And you know I am not a fan of the portal leading out of Ravenloft, but it will be up to the DM's discretion whether or not they leave Ravenloft or just leave to another domain. Now for the positives. The domain, the Dark Lord, his castle, the characters from Night of the Black Rose, they're all detailed here. So if you're a fan of the book, this adventure is a continuation of it. And yes, even Magda the Wanderer is in here. The memory mirrors are a cool idea, and any fan of Dragonlance will enjoy the events in the mirrors. I was a big fan of the Dragonlance book, so I very much enjoyed the memory mirror adventures. And they are just well done, and a cool idea. I recommend When Black Roses Bloom. It's a good adventure with a unique setting and a unique premise. You will enjoy it more if you are a fan of Dragonlance and the novel Night of the Black Rose, but if you're not, it's still a worthwhile adventure. Anytime you can go up against a Dark Lord with such stature as Lord Soth, it is bound to be a good time. The nightbound realm of Sithicus is dying. The grey forested crags scarred by jagged rifts echo with the laments of the dying elven nation. But the Lord of the Land sits uncaring on his blackened throne in the charred castle of Nedregard, lost in ancient memories. Through his passion and hatred, the nightmare-haunted Death Knight, Lord Soth permitted catastrophe to befall his native world of Krynn. Now trapped in the realm of terror, Soth has once more brought calamity to his home. Abandoning the rule of his twisted realm of Sithicus, Lord Soth has retreated to a still more distorted domain, the mad fantasies of his own history. To save the land and themselves, the heroes must venture into banshee-haunted Nedregard Keep, and there into the warped mindscape of a tormented Dark Lord. The history of the greatest villain of the Dragonlance saga is at last revealed in the Realm of Terror, for fans of Dragonlance and Ravenloft adventurers alike. This grand adventure is suited for 4 to 6 player characters of level 4 to 6. No prior knowledge of Krynn or the Dragonlance saga is necessary. You must have the Ravenloft box campaign set to use this adventure.